Hello everybody, Thy Lord Root here, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Kerbal Space Program Career Mode. And so after close to a year of figuring out what went wrong with the prior flights and with our space probe mission, we've decided that the best thing for us to do is to send a Kethane probe to the moon. And it's a very lightweight probe, as you can see. In fact, it's over engineered a bit. It's got plenty of delta V left. But we're reusing our Tiktaalik stack, which is a little bit more than we need. And we'll just go ahead, we'll get onto the launch pad, and we will do our thing. So, there we go. We'll turn on our SAS. There's times like these that I really wish I had the launch fairing, but we'll make it nonetheless. And we'll turn that down because we are accelerating a little bit too fast. Although, as I said before, we have delta V in spades. And as you might notice, this thing doesn't have much in the way of it doesn't have much in the way of oh, we'll throw up just a little bit. It doesn't have much in the way of mass. In fact, the entire probe is maybe like half a ton, a little bit over, but the profile that we're going to use for injections, of course, a polar. Oh, there we go. We're a little bit bogged down because we forgot to jettison those engines, but the profile, of course, is polar, and there's a reason for that because we can scan everything on the planet with the polar orbit. Now, the reason we're doing this is because we eventually want to set up an interstellar spaceship, and what we can do there, of course, is we can... Oh, it's time to turn. I totally forgot about that. We can, set this thing up so that basically we have a station on the moon and a station, that's also, maybe near Minmus. Minmus is the best place for us to, if we want to, escape. And we can completely refuel at Minmus, which will be nice. But we're going to do our advanced, orbital insertion profile here. And that will, get us into orbit. And so we will see what's what's going on. At some point for sure we will have our profile. And so yeah, we're just going to get our apoapsis up to maybe 80 or so. We're gonna have a ton of fuel left, as you can see here. And it's going to be important for us to, when we get up here, to try to jettison that stage as much, as soon as we can. We want to make sure that whatever it is that we do, that with You know, we're very slightly, oh yeah, we're more than slightly off here. We'll want to make sure that, in fact, our orbit, I think, is going to decay a little bit. So I'll wait a little bit to see how quickly that happens. In the meantime, I'll drink my Guinness and turn it on time acceleration. So, we are reaching, um, our apoapsis fairly quickly here. And it won't be long before we have to, plan out this maneuver node, which is in another 2 minutes or so. So in this case, I think we actually over-prepared just a little bit. Let's see where it... That is almost what we want, I think. We'll go with that. And so we'll just, we'll time accelerate. In fact, we'll leave it on the map view. So, that will be, we're about to hit that point, and we're gonna get our apoapsis up. We're gonna go ahead, we'll jettison this other exterior stage, and then we'll complete that. And that will more or less get us into the orbit that we want. And so that's 76 by 77. It's not the best, by far. But we'll just go ahead and we'll do our trans-Münar injection here. And the idea here is going to be, that we're going to, we're gonna get down as low as we can. Now you might say 3K is a little bit too low, and normally I would agree with that, but that is, that's actually not too terribly low. Other things we need to do while we're here, since we have some time on our hands, we need to grab data from these instruments. So, for some reason, I guess the seismic scan will not work, but the gravioli detector will give us something to send back. And we are using quite a bit of data. We got 40 science data. And we might actually have to wait a little bit. Well, maybe not actually. It'll send the rest of that data for us. We just happen to, run out. And that's a 51-second burn we gotta do, so I'm gonna start burning around 20 or so. That seems to be the best deal for us. Are we still transmitting? It doesn't look like it. I think this one engine we have on here will help. So this thing will fill up pretty soon, and we'll get this thing down to about 20 or so. And we will begin our TMI burn. And you know, while we're at it, we'll take another reading here because we might as well. We do have the thing coming up in spades, so that should give us... Oh, we're out of electric charge. There we go. That's the one thing about doing this transmission is that we are running out fairly quickly, and I should pay attention to my burn a little bit more, probably. So we're point 0.8. Are we over or under? Well, that's actually not too bad. I'll leave it there. Now, somewhere out in the middle here, there's really two things we want to do. We'll set the moon as a target. Our descending node is way out there. And so we'll try to use, well, we're way past that now, so we'll, for some reason, we'll get rid of that. We'll do, maybe out here. We will get, we'll go this way, and it will extend our axis out quite a bit. But we'll be close if we do that, and that's an 81 meter per second burn, which shouldn't take long at all. So we will go ahead and we are stable here. We'll wait until this thing gets down pretty close. We're more or less on target. And we'll just make sure we're in position here. And we will go ahead and burn now. And we probably did overdo it just a little bit, but we'll make that correction when we get to the moon. And there's another thing we'll want to do here as well. We'll want to take this gravioli detector here. And for some reason we can't... Oh, it's because we're in time acceleration. We can't log the data. We'll transmit that. And it is taking quite a bit for us to do that, but... we'll collect this data. How close are we anyhow? We're still pretty close in, so... we'll wait for this to come back up, and we'll transmit again. And so if we send a probe back, that'll definitely do more for us. But because we can't, we'll just go ahead and we will send what we have, because if I'm not mistaken, we are fairly close. And we will get in orbit of the moon. So let's go ahead. Um, I've got this weird issue to where it's not letting me select. Yeah, set that as the target. Where are my oh, it's probably not letting me do that because of that. We'll bring this thing down to maybe something like that. We can, in fact, we'll bring it down just a little bit more, or 21 meters per second, and maybe, we'll just leave that where it is right now. But in the meantime, we are going to scan. Again, we're going to send out more in the way of instrumentation. So that's 24 science if we send it, which will cause us verily to run out of juice. And we'll log the gravity data again. Send it back. That way we know a bit about the moon's gravity. And that should help us just a little bit. In fact, we might even try to take one more. Let's try that. Let's, oh nice, we have plenty of data that we can send. And we'll log more of that. Well, maybe not. But this probe will help us quite a good deal. And we screwed up on that easily, which means we will be wasting some fuel. Unfortunately, that means that we're going to have to redo our burn. Well, we'll bring some of that data back at least, where possible. I mean, there's going to be some point where, this data becomes very important to us, so we'll bring this down. In fact, we'll use our periapsis to bring this back down. Get us oriented correctly. Which is going to be a bit of a shame because, we're going to want to intersect the moon again. Fortunately, we have plenty of fuel. I mean, we can make this work pretty well. Even if we are in deep space. So we'll do that. In fact, we are close enough, I reckon, that we can get an encounter pretty easily. We'll just, this will lower our periaps a little bit, but we'll just set, the moon as our target again. And we will give this another shot. Oh, we'll flatten this out some. We're at what, 5.4. Well, this may be a failed probe. We'll do what we can to jettison it, but although here's an idea. What if we can do this? What if we rotate? What's our separation distance? Well, the question is, what would our separation distance be now if we did this? And this is quite, if we could just rotate this a little bit, that would be quite nice. Let's try that. Let's at least get our separation distance. Whoa. We are about to miss that entirely. Let us get that out here. So the moral of this story at least to my way of thinking, is that, you shouldn't be drinking beer while you're flying spacecraft. Let's see, let's just bring that in a little bit. That will be quite difficult to do. Oh, what's that? We got escape from Kerbin. We don't want that. Oh, where is our closest approach? Can we make that a bit easier on ourselves? There we go. That's not going to be the best, but it'll have to do. So we were able to salvage this with some, except now we're not, because I was being stupid. Although I still think we can, in fact, salvage this. We'll just, we'll get this as close as we can. And this time, let's not overshoot it. Because that is going to suck really hardcore if we do. In fact, let's do this. Let's bring this guy down. Do we have another maneuver node up? We must somewhere. There we go. Well, it's a good thing we put extra fuel in this. Well, this time at least, we won't overshoot. And we should have plenty in the way of fuel by now. So the question is, what can we learn from this? We can learn quite a deal, actually. We can, I mean, first of all, definitely we can start descending node, it looks like. We'll just, we need to get ourselves up into a polar orbit here. Oh, maybe. Anyway, we'll get this thing moderately. Well, you know, that's the wrong way to go, actually. We want to go down. So that is a 3-second burn, it looks like. There we go. That appears to be that appears to be pretty close to what we want. And of course we lost our target. But that's okay. I think we're pretty good as far as our inclination. We just need to, you know, we need to try to make this thing as polar as possible, and I think that'll do us, at least for now. We've got this maneuver node here. And we'll bring ourselves down to this 11-second burn. And so we're more or less where we want to be. We'll just, we'll fine tune this now. We want to bring this down to an orbit of about, maybe 20K or so. The Oberth effect is screwing with us just a little bit. I mean, even 15K would be good. So what we'll do is we'll you know what, we'll just, because it's telling us it'll take so long, we'll just wait until we get to our apoapsis. Which it says is 8 hours away. Except we already were at our apoapsis, so we're going to have to do some tricky stuff now. We'll just bring this down just a little bit. That's close enough, I think. And we'll make a periapsis burn. Around here or so. So let's see what we got. We got here um a very close apsis. We'll just we'll get that as close to 20 as we can. Actually, that was correct where we were earlier. So we'll bring that in about 20 or so. And it shouldn't take us too long. Now the question is going to be whether or not we're going to have enough in the way to correct this. I mean, I still think this is plenty of fuel. So we'll just go ahead and we'll try not to overshoot this too much, but we'll bring this guy down to an acceptable orbit, and we're gonna burn somewhere between 2 and 3. So apoapsis is at what? 20 up. Or 19. We'll take 19. And our new periapsis is at 15, which should mean that we're a little bit higher than the mountains. So 1985 versus 1960. I think that will put us where we want to be. And then we're going to have a wee bit of an inclination change afterwards. That's part of the reason why there's so much in the way of fuel on this vessel, because we do want to make sure we're in a low polar orbit. But we're going to have less than a second's worth of burn. So we're going to have to be very careful. We'll just bring this down to within maybe 10 seconds or so. And now we've confused this thing, so we'll make, because we have plenty of fuel left, we'll make a minor change in our deal here. We want to go the other way. And I think that'll get us in lieu of, we'll also bring this guy in just a little bit. But that'll get us close to what we want. Our periapsis would be 1920, and our apoapsis would be 19. 70 something. So that's a 16-second burn. And that will put us about where we want to be. Because we'll want to burn at about 8 or so. And so that is pretty close to a polar orbit if you ask me. We're probably off by a couple degrees, but we'll just fine tune this. Alright, so there is our orbit. Now we just need to we'll save real quick. And we will do a couple of things. We will first of all jettison this, because we don't really want or need it anymore. And we will scan with the gravioli thing. And it'll take us a little while, but we'll hit the sign pretty soon. I'm going to collect a lot of science from this. So we've got a lot in the way of science that's been collected. Now I'm not going to bother just quite yet with let's see, where are we at? I'm not gonna bother with, you know, oh, there we go. We're just right above the moon's pole, so I'm not gonna do the minimus thing today, but we're going to try and get we'll try and get let me show our grid overlay. We're going to do our best to get data back from this. We should be high enough. Or that we zoom in just a little bit. We should get some data back. You know, maybe I will enable the scan tone, as annoying as it is, because well, you know, I don't understand why we're not picking anything up. That's kind of weird. Maybe we have to be facing the planet, I don't know. But for some reason we are not getting Kethane out. Which is a bit of a shame, because we put all this work into into doing the kethane detection. Are we too close to the planet? I mean, that may be it. We do have just a little bit here. But we do have that, so maybe there's an update I need. At any rate, this has been Thylord Root, and I will see y'all later.